It started with waking up, opening Twitch, and realizing one of the platform's most chaotic, unpredictable streamers is gone. Not just offline, banned again. That's the kind of roller coaster fans of Heelmike have been riding for years. Because between 2020 and 2023, Heelmike didn't just stream, he tested the limits of what Twitch would allow. And each time he got too close to that line, Twitch hit him with the ban hammer. At first, it was funny. Another Heelmike ban? Must be Tuesday. But then, the bans kept stacking up. 5, 10, 15 times. And behind every suspension was another wild story that made people wonder, is Heelmike a genius entertainer or a disaster waiting to happen? Let's rewind. Back in the late 2010s, Heelmike was blowing up on Twitch with his mix of high-energy Fortnite streams and comedy-driven IRL content. His streams weren't calm or polished, they were chaos. Loud music, over-the-top reactions, sometimes even questionable challenges. Viewers loved it. Heelmike wasn't just another gamer, he was entertainment on caffeine. But in 2020, things started to change. Twitch's rules were tightening. What used to get laughs was now considered inappropriate behavior. And Heelmike's wild, sometimes suggestive content quickly became a target. The first few bans were short, just a few days here and there. Nobody took them too seriously. He'd disappear, tweet a joke about being perma-banned for having too much fun, and come back like nothing happened. It almost became part of his brand. The streamer so outrageous that Twitch couldn't handle him. But as the bans piled up, the tone shifted. Some fans started noticing a pattern. Twitch wouldn't explain much, just terms of service violations. But viewers pieced things together from clips and re-uploads. Maybe it was a joke that went too far. Maybe it was a guest on stream saying something off-color. Or maybe it was just Heelmike being Heelmike. Each return brought a surge of views. People tuned in just to see how long he'd last this time. The man was turning suspensions into spectacle, but Twitch wasn't amused. By late 2022, after a series of borderline hot tub and Tinder-style streams, he got hit with yet another ban, his most serious one yet. And this time, the platform wasn't playing. For days, his channel was completely dark. Fans flooded Reddit and Twitter asking if this was finally the end. Then, out of nowhere, Heelmike popped back up, live and laughing. He called it vacation mode, joked about Twitch missing the best content on the site, and immediately launched back into the same unpredictable chaos that had built his fame in the first place. But behind the humor, something had changed. Twitch was no longer a safe home for him. The tension between his raw style and the platform's corporate image was too much. So by 2023, Heelmike began shifting his energy toward Kick, a new streaming platform that promised more freedom and fewer rules. For Heelmike, it was the perfect fit. No more worrying about bans. No more corporate oversight, just unfiltered entertainment. But that move raised a bigger question, one that still hangs over his name today. Was Heelmike a victim of Twitch's over-censorship or the perfect example of why moderation exists in the first place? Whatever side you're on, one thing's certain. Few streamers have ever danced so close to the edge so many times and lived to tell the tale. And that's exactly why people can't stop watching. But just as he was settling into his new home on Kick, another controversy would emerge, one that cut much deeper. It started with a single upload and a title no one could ignore. Overnight, a YouTube expose calling out predator behavior.
Mike, I'm just looking out for you. We don't like teenage girls. I do. So leave. I love them. I love them.
On Kick began tearing through creator, Twitter, Reddit, and group chats like a fire you couldn't scroll past. In the thumbnails, familiar faces. In the comments, panic, anger, and a lot of people asking the same question, Did Heelmike really cross a line? Or is this outrage engineered for clicks? Picture the scene: late night kick stream, fast chat, chaotic IRL energy, guests popping in, jokes flying, dare-style segments blurring the line between edgy and uncomfortable. For fans, it's the brand, unfiltered, borderline, impossible to predict. For critics, it's exactly the problem. The exposé stitches clips together, freeze frames the worst moments, and lays out a narrative. Suggestive prompts, reckless boundaries, and an environment that, according to the video, invites lines to be crossed. And that's when everything detonates. Twitter threads spiral, Reddit megathreads fill with timestamps and hot takes. Some viewers argue the edits are selective, context stripped away to maximize shock. Others insist context doesn't fix the vibe. If a stream looks like pressure, feels like pressure, it is pressure. Words like grooming and predatory get tossed around loosely, too loosely, say media ethics folks, while creators on both sides jump in, either defending the content as messy comedy or calling it a wake-up call about platform responsibility. The stakes rise because it isn't just about one streamer. It's about Kick itself, the freer alternative to the purple site, and whether fewer rules means more risk. Commentators demand moderation receipts. Where are the guardrails? What's the policy when IRL chaos dips into something darker? People start tagging sponsors, tagging the platform, tagging anyone who might force a response. Meanwhile, Heelmike goes live. He doesn't read a Notes app statement. He doesn't fold. He leans into what he's always done: jokes, bravado, denial of intent. Clipped and twisted, he says, or something close to it. If you think I'm a monster, you never watch the stream.
And I'm gonna have fun, so you can watch and clip it and cry, or you can fucking enjoy yourself. Wow, she's 16, guess what?
I'm 11, so shut the fuck up.
She's 11.
Loyal viewers rally, context matters, manufactured drama, this is entertainment. Detractors aren't buying it. They ask a harder question. Even if intent isn't malicious, what responsibility does a host have to set boundaries on a show that thrives? On pushing them? Then comes the plateau, the place every controversy reaches after the screaming. No formal platform announcement, no public ban, no sponsor exodus that anyone can prove. The exposé keeps pulling views. The streams keep pulling viewers. The discourse cools from fire to ash, and the algorithm moves on. But something lingers, because the real story wasn't a gotcha moment, it was a mirror. It forced an audience to ask what they're complicit in when they cheer on no rules content. It pushed a platform to wonder how long freedom sells before it starts costing more than it's worth. And it left a creator standing on a very thin line between unapologetic entertainer and host who should have known better. In the end, the allegations didn't end his career. They did something subtler and maybe more lasting. They rewired how people watch. Fans who once laughed at every bit now clock the discomfort. Critics who wrote him off now listen for what he doesn't say. The show goes on, but the room feels different, and that's the twist. No exposé can edit away. Sometimes the biggest consequence isn't a ban. It's the audience learning to look twice. But before that controversy, there was another moment that defined Heelmike just as much. One that started as a joke, but nearly cost him everything. It started as a joke. A few friends, a pool, some music, and a camera pointed right at the chaos. What could go wrong, right? Well, a lot, apparently. Heelmike's hot tub and Tinder-style streams were supposed to be lighthearted fun, goofy challenges, spontaneous flirting, and over-the-top reactions. But within months, those same streams would spark one of the most divisive debates Twitch had seen. Was it comedy, or was it crossing the line? Let's rewind to when this all kicked off. Twitch had just entered its hot tub meta. Everyone was talking about it. Creators streaming from inflatable pools, chatting in swimwear, breaking viewership records, and testing just how far the platform's rules could bend. It was controversial, yes, but it was also trending. And for someone like Heelmike, who thrived on high energy, wild personalities, and unpredictable moments, it was the perfect playground. So he jumped in, literally. His streams became a mix of comedy skits, challenges, and flirty games modeled after dating apps. Guests would appear in person, compete in IRL Tinder rounds, and sometimes things got a little too real. Viewers loved it. The clips went viral. The chat was nonstop. His name started trending beyond Twitch circles. People who'd never even heard of Heelmike suddenly knew him as that hot tub guy. But with fame came friction. Critics accused him of turning Twitch into reality TV gone wrong, arguing that his content blurred the line between playful and inappropriate. Some said it objectified women. Others said it encouraged risky behavior for attention. And then came the bans. Short, sharp, and frequent. Twitch never gave detailed explanations, but everyone knew why. The streams were towing the line of the platform's sexually suggestive content rules. Still, every time he got suspended, the hype only grew. Fans joked that Heelmike was speedrunning bans. Each time he came back, viewership spiked even higher. The man had turned punishment into promotion. But then came the stream that changed the tone completely. A dating challenge where one guest stormed off mid-broadcast, clearly uncomfortable.
Gay. This guy's so gay. Mom, get my Cheetos. This guy with 2 girls over is f***ing gay. I'm not really good on judging people, but my gay radar is through the roof.
Clips spread fast. Commentators dissected every second, calling it exploitative, irresponsible, even predatory. The backlash was immediate. For the first time, the joke wasn't funny anymore. Twitch clamped down harder. Sponsors started backing off. Even some longtime fans said, maybe he's finally gone too far. And while Heelmike didn't disappear, something shifted. He toned it down, fewer physical stunts, fewer Tinder challenges. But the damage had already been done. The controversy had permanently stamped his name into Twitch history, not just as a streamer, but as a symbol of where entertainment meets ethics. Eventually, Heelmike moved his energy to Kick, where rules were looser and shock value was still currency. There, his same chaotic energy found new life. But the lesson stuck. Because this wasn't just about hot tubs or dating games. It was about what happens when a creator's brand depends on pushing the line, and one day, that line starts pushing back. Heelmike had built a reputation on unpredictable fun, but this controversy proved something even he couldn't laugh off. Sometimes, the biggest risk isn't getting banned, it's being remembered for the wrong reason. So what do these 3 controversies tell us about Heelmike? That streaming without limits sounds fun until it stops being funny. That the difference between edgy entertainment and genuine harm can be razor thin. That the platforms we build our careers on can become prisons when we push too hard. Heelmike survived repeated bans, exposés, and backlash because he never tried to be anything other than what he is. Chaotic, unpredictable, and willing to cross lines most people wouldn't even approach. Whether that makes him a bold entertainer or a cautionary tale depends on who you ask. But one thing's for certain, his journey shows us that in the age of extreme streaming, the price of constantly testing boundaries is that eventually something's gonna break. Whether it's a platform's patience, an audience's trust, or your own reputation. And that's it for today's video. What do you think about Heelmike's journey? Is he a victim of over-moderation, or did he deserve the consequences? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I love hearing different takes. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share it with someone who'd find it interesting too. It really helps the channel grow, and it keeps me motivated to bring you even more wild stories like this one. Thanks for watching, And I'll see you in the next video.